Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Revelation Teela from the Masterverse series. So Teela, of course, comes in that standard window box packaging that we've seen for all of the Masterverse figures. Once again, I got to give a shout out to the awesome Eamon O'Donoghue for the gorgeous artwork that we see across these window boxes. I love that the Masters line continues to give us good artwork on all of the packages. And while the window boxes I don't think are as exciting as like the blister cards we have for Origins, at least we've got this gorgeous artwork on there. So great, great stuff. All right, so we got our Teela outside of the packaging here. If I bring in the tape measure, you can see that she's at about 6.5 inches tall. So it's a 7-inch scale line. Teela is shorter. So for example, if we stand her alongside He-Man there, you can see how she measures up to He-Man. She's basically a whole head taller than the male characters in the lineup. And all in all, I do feel like the sculpt work and the paint work look very good on this particular figure. So this, of course, is the later version of Teela. You know, this is after the big change at the start of Revelation. So this is sort of our Teela who's coming back now after being away for a while. So she's got this all new, all different look. With her half-shaved head and everything. I know it's not a favorite look for everybody. Honestly, not for me either. I didn't really like her personality in the beginning, but you know what? The story progressed. I do feel better about her towards the end. This isn't really about that. We're looking at the action figure here. So if you want an action figure inspired by her appearance in the cartoon, I really do think that this does a pretty good job of nailing that. And I think all the details are really well done. The paintwork looks really clean on this figure. And honestly, I think it's a pretty gorgeous head sculpt there. You can see all the paintwork looks really nice. Honestly, it still looks like Teela in the face. I think they did a really good job there. You can see she's got that red hair swooshed to one side, but all of this is sculpted really, really well. So all in all, I do think it's a very good looking figure. And you know what? Even though it's a different look, there's still all these notes about her where it looks like Teela's classic costume kind of peeking through, right? It's just like the color combinations and the way everything works there. It still looks like Teela. This is just a bit of a drastic overhaul for the character, but that's kind of what Revelation was doing. They were trying to do something different and tell a different type of story. So, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about articulation with this particular figure here. Of course, that head rolls around on a ball joint there. The arms can go outwards at the shoulders, move forwards and backwards, swivel at the bicep, double joints at the elbows there. The wrists can swivel as well as hinge there. We do have a ball joint in the midsection there, so you can roll the body all the way around. You can also turn her at the waist. That does break up the sculpt. I mean, it looks really funny. Like, you can see how wide the hips look with the skinny body there when you turn her at the waist. You can see the legs are on those ball joints. They can go outwards, forwards, backwards. The skirt piece is pretty pliable, but I've noticed that it is molded where it's kind of always billowed outwards. But it won't get in the way of your articulation. It does just kind of look like it's sitting a little unnaturally at times. You can swivel at the thigh cut there. You do have double joints at the knees, which are very, very tight. I do like how she's got the knee pads as part of the sculpt, though, because it really does a good job of hiding those knee joints there. You got the swivels at the boot cut there. I do want to point out, really nice leather texturing on these boots as well. That looks really, really nice there. And then, of course, the ankles can move forwards and backwards on the hinge, as well as rock side to side. All of Teela's joints actually feel pretty good for the most part. Torso is a little loose. You can see we got a little bit of a wobble there, but most of the figure feels pretty solid. She's sturdy. She balances well. She stands good. So all in all, this one feels pretty nice. She does come with a few interchangeable hands, so this allows you to swap her hands out so we can have like the closed fist or the gripping hand, or we've got kind of like a more open hand here. And this is easy to do just by pulling the hand out of the socket there and then placing the new hand right there in its place. Just pop the peg in there and that works out pretty good. Although again, like these open hands in this line, I don't really know why we need those. They're just like way too open and they don't look natural to me. So I definitely prefer the closed fists and the gripping hands for the accessories. Now, speaking of accessories, Teela's got a pretty cool one here because she's got this little staff weapon, and of course, this would grow or change however she needed it to. So, first of all, you've got the staff that's compact, that's kind of folded up here, and she's got this great little loop on the back here so she can store her staff weapon right there on the back, which is really, really nice. Now, in addition to it in the compact form there, I know we've got it still on her back, but you can see we've also got a version that is extended into a bladed weapon, like a sword, and then we've got one that's more like a staff, kind of like a pike on the end there. So we've got it all three different ways, depending on which way you want to display her. She holds all of these very nicely. She actually gets a good grip in that gripping hand there, so that way we can get some pretty cool poses out of her. She actually holds poses pretty well. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So let's stand Masterverse Teela alongside all the other Teelas that we've received throughout the years. Everything from Vintage to 2000X to Masters of the Universe Classics, where I also included Battleground Teela, which was inspired by the blonde version from the original mini comics. That way I can kind of give you a nice look at the different ways Teela has looked over the years. Since this new one is a bit of a drastic change, you can see Teela's gone through a few of those changes over the years, even though for the most part, she's got that very stable red-headed look. So pretty interesting to look at these all standing side by side. And there you go, my friends. That is a look at the Masterverse Teela as she appeared in the Revelation animated series. All in all, I think this is a really solid action figure. I think the sculpt is good. I think the paintwork looks really nice. Honestly, I think that the female figures that I've looked at so far, with Evil Lynn being the other one that I've taken a look at and reviewed so far, these are some of the better figures in the Masterverse series so far, just as far as like the overall build of the figures goes. They feel nice and solid. The articulation feels less wonky on them for some reason, and they don't have like the odd proportions that I see with characters like He-Man and Skeletor. So I believe Teela was part of Wave 2 of Masterverse, which might still be floating around on store shelves right now. I ordered mine through Big Bad Toy Store, so happy hunting, my friends, and until next time.